Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 22nd day of summer today, and this is going to be a bit of a different video just because I'm going to be doing the entire video from two different save slots. So on the 22nd, we have a few updates that I want to talk to everybody about before we go to the fishing festival tomorrow. The fishing festival is kind of the big next thing that I was waiting for, but there's a few things that have happened today that I noticed that I can probably squeeze into a video as well, because I don't really have much else except for the fishing competition to talk about. Once again, largely due in part to the fact that all of these summer festivals have been so close together. There hasn't been a lot of space in between them all. So first things first, when we leave the farmhouse today, Mirabelle is gonna come by and she's going to have a look at our animals again. So she did this the first time that we met the requirements for the amount of chickens on the ranch. And as you can see, our sheep has grown up. We now have 3 adult sheep. And by doing that, we are able to get ourselves another sunstone. And of course, that's fantastic news. That's just one less thing for us to do. And having one additional sheep is also not a bad thing, because we are still working on putting wool into our yarn maker for yet another sunstone. And if I remember correctly, I think we're about halfway on that. So we're about halfway on cheese. Yogurt and butter still have a long way to go. And yep, yarn, we've got over 50% of that goal of 100 in total. So having another sheep isn't going to make a world of a difference, but it is going to speed it up a little bit. So now that that guy's an adult, we can bring it outside and let it graze out in the sunshine with the rest of the animals. Our cow is still a baby, so we have to wait for that calf to grow up before we can bring it outdoors. But you can see that it has a full coat right now. We can shear it if we want to. So let's lock that in here, and you can see now all 3 of our sheep are out, which is really nice. And at the moment we're just waiting for our final cow, and that will have us for a total of 6 barn animals. And that's pretty much sort of my limit. I find that after that, it becomes a little bit too much to look after. And once you've gotten the sunstones for 100 product, unless you're saving your product for cooking, like if you're saving your milk and your eggs and stuff like that, or you're using yarn for gifts, for example, there does become a point where taking care of the animals doesn't outweigh the effort that it takes for the amount of money that you're earning, because once again, there gets to be a point where money is just sort of obsolete. We haven't reached that point, obviously. We still have the greenhouse and a bunch of other stuff to get, but I don't want to get any more than 6 because then it will just become too much for me. I've also been making an effort to collect some more lumber, so if I throw that into our shed, you can see that I have 281 pieces, which is not a bad start towards collecting some for another update. later on. Our onions are coming in nicely, and they should be ready for the crop festival at the end of the month. My pumpkins have also come in, but I'm letting them sit for a few days because I find that pumpkins always grow in at B quality. I have no idea why, but I tried to pick these the first day that they came in and they were all B quality. Not that it's the biggest deal in the world, but it is, because we have so few of them, not a bad idea to let them sit and just grow in quality a little bit. We'll get a bit more money for them that way. You can see that the orange trees have reached the next stage of development, so these are coming in nicely. We're still getting fruit off of our fruit trees, which is great. And I only just replaced these fences a few days ago, so I have to wait. But I also got another piece of golden lumber from my monkeys. So yeah, I'm very satisfied with how much golden lumber I've been getting from them at such a low affection level. I really couldn't be happier about that. So I think that's kind of all the stuff I wanted to talk about before the fishing festival tomorrow. Oh, and we're gonna apparently walk into a random event. Okay, well, that's alright. Apparently the kids think that Pierre looks stupid. I mean, he does stand out. I wouldn't say it's all that cool looking, but I'm just kind of used to it, I guess, because, you know, that's just Pierre's traditional garb. This is just the gourmet's traditional garb. They wear this type of stuff in every single Harvest Moon game. There are a few exceptions, like there's a few gourmets and some other Harvest Moon games that don't dress like this, but, you know, Pierre has usually the blonde hair and the purple suit. Alright. So that was unexpected, but that's fine. No big deal. All I'm gonna do is go over to Animal Island. And I got the monkeys to work for me yesterday. You can see that they brought me back squat. Absolutely nothing. And then I am going to put out a big juicy fish for the ducks and hope that it pays off. So I have these large fish in my inventory right now, and I've already tested it, and these are not good enough to win the fishing competition. I think the size isn't big enough because, as you can see, they're of decent quality and they're only missing 1 point of freshness. So even though they're a large fish, I don't think that these are large enough, and it's also a B rank item. So we're gonna go ahead and put this out for the ducks. And then I am going to reload my save state after this, and we're gonna go right to the fishing contest. So here we are. I'm now at the fishing contest. So the reason I made 2 different saves was so that I could play on from yesterday into today, the 23rd. I could come to the island and start fishing my little heart out in order to be able to catch something that would win in the competition. And fishing takes quite a while, as you can imagine, so sometimes it's nice to have fishing on its own save state so that I can save and quit and then come back. I don't have to do all this fishing all in one go, because as you can see, you cannot save when you're at a festival. So anyways, as you can see, I made myself a bunch of food. I was planning on being here for quite a while, So I've made myself lots and lots of food here so that I can keep on fishing. I have 74 small fish. I have a few different large fish to look at and compare in order to be able to submit these to the festival. And then I've also caught some junk, some boots and some cans, and I have had some pretty decent luck in catching some medium fish as well. So I'm still finding that I would say like 80% of the time I'm getting small fish. You're still gonna get tons and tons and tons of small fish. I'm also getting medium fish like maybe 10% of the time, maybe. And then every so often I will catch myself a large fish. So I've got 3 different ones in my inventory here. So this stack of large fish here were a few different catches that I had, and I tried to combine different fish to increase the size, the quality, and the freshness. So this fish here is quite fresh. It's got an A quality, but it's not quite big enough. It's got about, 7.5 stars or 6.5 stars. This fish below it is a little bit better. It's a little less fresh, but it is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit bigger. And it has 7 points of size. And then this fish here was actually one that the ducks brought me. So yesterday when you saw me put that large fish into their feeding area there, they brought this back for me. And this fish here is obviously very large. It's got 9 points of size. It's got almost full quality, and it's got full freshness. So I've done a bunch of testing, not only on this save slot, but I've saved and reloaded a bunch of times and sort of just saved over my progress. And what I found was that 7 points of size wasn't enough, 8 points of size wasn't enough, but this fish here with 9 points of size is actually going to ensure our win today. So I still am not entirely sure what it's based on, whether it's a combination of all 3 of these attributes, whether it's just size, whether it's just quality, whether it's just item rank. I really don't know. It's sort of baffling to me that I could submit a full quality, full freshness fish that's only 8 points of size and still lose. I think that that's very, very unforgiving. So in any case, the ducks have saved my butt in this case. And if it weren't for the ducks, I would lose this festival once again. And I just want to beat Lana so bad because I've never won. And like I said, I swear that it was rigged. This festival seems so hard and so unforgiving compared to the rest. Like every other festival that I can think of doesn't require as much of a time investment than this one. Not even the mining festival, because at least with mining, you can save and reload and, cook food to go down to lower levels. Whereas the fishing competition, you just have to fish and fish and fish for many, many, many in-game hours to try and at least be able to even catch a large fish for this festival. And it's kind of strange to me that we have an out-of-town contestant because we have enough fisher people in this village, or enough people that are interested in fishing, that we could have just had a festival that composed entirely of island inhabitants, because Martin entered but Ray didn't. There we go, we won. Suck it, Lana. Woo! No, seriously, I'm pumped. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Even though, I mean, I guess maybe it's kind of cheating because I didn't catch the fish. But I've put in the work to get those ducks to work for me. And I have tried and tried and tried to increase my fishing level. And it's not like I can't catch a large fish myself, I just couldn't catch one that was good enough for this competition. And thankfully we break our streak of getting ourselves a yellow wonderful. I will take that blue. Thank you, Denny. Today is a good day. It's a very good day. I whooped her butt. I've got lots of fish to sell, that's for sure. It was a lot of work to catch all of those. I was fishing for quite some time. Witch Princess isn't mad that I lost, which is excellent. I can gloat a little bit. And then I can return home. Alright. You can see that my stamina was very low, but that's why I always bring food to any festival that I'm going to be fishing at, because you cannot see your stamina, the bars disappear, all that information is gone, so I always bring food with me, and then I kind of just periodically eat a few things in between fishing. And of course, with the emulator I have the advantage of save states, so I'll just, you know, save every few fish so that I don't lose any progress. I'm always paranoid that the power is gonna go out or something, and then I'm gonna lose all that fishing progress that I just made. So anyways, we have only 2 days in between now and our next festival, which is going to be the fireworks festival. Now this is probably going to be a pretty quiet day because all the shops will probably be closed during the daytime, and it's an evening festival. So we will be going with Witch Princess this year. And then after that, we have another 2 days in between then and our crop festival. So I will be back very shortly, in fact, and I'm not sure if I'll have any sort of update for everybody, but we'll figure something out. We will be back at the very least for the fireworks festival on the 26th day of summer. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.